This episode contains discussions of depression, self-esteem issues, and a brief mention of Donald Trump. Listen at your own discretion. It is Thursday, the 27th of February, 2025. My name is Pigeon, and this is my song of the day. Today, we are once again talking about They Might Be Giants. It's been a while. I think the last one I talked about was maybe Anna Eng, or no, I think I talked about something else since. But anyway, today we're talking about a far more recent song of theirs, because I think most of the songs I've talked about by them have been from their first two albums. We're talking about The Greatest from their album I Like Fun from 2018. They Might Be Giants are a weird band. They're very prolific. Like, their music tends to be quite short, and so they just have album after album of all these strange things, and it can be hit and miss because they just put out so much content that you're not always going to like every song or every album, and that's fine. And I feel like there's kind of a dip at some point in the 2000s or 2010s. And when I first got into them, it was just before Nanobots came out. Well, that's not true. When I first came into them, it was not long after Join Us came out. And then Nanobots came out, and I love You're on Fire, but I don't think I listened to the full album until way later. But then every album that released after Nanobots, I did listen to as they came out and really liked. Particularly, I Like Fun. This is one of my favorite They Might Be Giants albums, and I feel like it's a bit underrated in their catalog, but that's maybe because they just have so much that people love a lot of it. And I mean, their other albums are also great. They Might Be Giants, Lincoln, Flood, John Henry. I mean, there's just so many great albums, but I Like Fun, I feel like an underappreciated one. I get the title track stuck in my head a lot. Sometimes my roommate will stim by going, and I'll just be like, which is very funny if you know the song. But anyway, the song we're talking about today is called The Greatest. I would recommend the music video because it has an extended version of the song that is not on the album. However, the music video involves voodoo dolls and blood and it has this creepy atmosphere, but it also has Nick Offerman. So if you don't want to watch it, I get it, but I would recommend it. And anyway, let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was The Greatest by They Might Be Giants. Now, I know I said the music video has an extended version, and part of the reason why I love that is because the original song is only 1 minute and 48 seconds. So I appreciate the extra 42 seconds that the music video adds because it's a short song anyway, and so I like the little bit of additional. But I also just like how it sounds. I love the instruments in it. Apparently, the only reason it was cut out of the album is because of vinyl length restrictions. So you can listen to the full version on More Murdered Remains. Fun fact. Anyway, according to This Might Be a Wiki, which is a great source of knowledge for everything They Might Be Giants, this song was co-written by Chris Anderson of People Are Wrong and The Last Car. None of these words mean anything to me. I don't know who Chris Anderson is, but apparently he co-wrote the song, so that's fun. The music video stars Nick Offerman. If you didn't watch it, there's like a man who seems to be obsessed with Nick Offerman and makes like a voodoo doll of him and stabs it. And as Nick Offerman's standing there, blood starts, dripping from where the voodoo doll was stabbed. And the guy wears like a mask. It's a weird thing, but I enjoy the music video because I enjoy Nick Offerman. He gives some great like spiteful delivery into the lip syncing of like G-O-A-T. You can just see the spite in his face. It's great. So he was asked about how he became involved in it, and he said, "I've been besotted with They Might Be Giants since 1988 for their humor, wit, and panache. If they call again, I will answer." Which is a very Nick Offerman response, I feel like. The song itself, some people have figured that this song is about Donald Trump or the like MAGA cult, which is a bit weird to me. Like, I get it. Like, I understand listening to the lyrics. Yes, this song could be about him, and they did say this album is like kind of political, but it's a weird thing to assume that it's specifically about him with no overt references to him in the song. I don't know if that's ever been confirmed by the Johns. I feel like if it was, it would be in the trivia/info section of the wiki. And unfortunately, Don't Let's Start, a podcast about They Might Be Giants, has not gotten this far yet. They're way off from I Like Fun, so I can't consult them. I mean, I did message the Discord that I was going to be recording this episode, but I think Jordan's busy right now, probably being an extra on a film or something. But I think more generally, this song could be seen as being about like imposter syndrome and having an issue with your self-esteem, because it's this guy saying that when people say that he's the greatest, greatest, it's a joke, which is deeply sad. So it starts off with, they call me the greatest because I'm not very good and they're being sarcastic. They're being sarcastic. Oh, I'm taking names, but I'm not doing much with the names that I'm taking. GOAT. They're being sarcastic. They're being sarcastic. So they call me the greatest because I'm not very good and they're being sarcastic is one of the funniest opening lines to a song I've ever heard. It's one of the few things that's made my brother laugh from the music I listen to. He just wasn't expecting it. And it's like a real garden path sentence, you know? You hear they call me the greatest and you expect him to be really like narcissistic and like, ooh, full of himself. And it's like, because I'm not very good and they're being sarcastic. I was like, oh, this guy hates himself. And then I'm taking names, but I'm not doing much with the names that I'm taking. It sounds like he's like making note of the people who are calling him the greatest, but he's not doing anything about it, which is weird. And then GOAT. It took me a sec to realize why that was there because that spells goat, but it is also the acronym greatest of all time. And if someone calls someone the GOAT, they mean that they're the greatest of all time. And so he's just putting in here GOAT. They're being sarcastic, like emphasizing it. Like I said in the music video, Nick Offerman being all GOAT. I know you can't see me, it's not a visual medium, but like it just feels, you know, like he's mocking them, mocking him, even though they're not mocking him and they're probably being sincere, right? And then the second verse, they call me the greatest, but those cheers can be quiet, so I listen close, I listen close. Yes, I'm taking notes, but those notes aren't helping. The ink washes away. GOAT, it washes away, it washes away. So the second verse is more hopeful in a way. He says, they call me the greatest, but those cheers can be quiet, which implies that he is starting to believe them, but he doesn't hear them often enough. And so it's this thing of like, you know, if someone compliments you, you'll remember it for a minute, but if someone insults you, you'll remember it forever, right? And so he doesn't remember when people are sincere with him because he focuses on the negatives. So I listen close because he wants to hear the positive. Yes, I'm taking notes, but those notes aren't helping. The ink washes away. GOAT, it washes away, it washes away. Like he's trying to remember these things, but it just keeps going away because he has these self-esteem issues. It's a very sad song, and I love it a lot, and I could say that about most of the songs I fucking talk about in this show. I wonder, does the wiki have credits? Here we go. It's a mellotron. Of course it is. Okay, I was wondering what the main instrument in this, but of course it's a mellotron. I love the sound of this song. The like wah 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 wah. It just has a very specific feel to it, almost like what's that thing called that Ratty Pete uses? Hold on. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a harmonium. Oh, what do you know? Ratty Pete also plays a mellotron. It sounds like a harmonium to me. You know, the Anyway, that's enough of that. That's pretty much all I've got to say about this song. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
I've been besotted with They Might Be Giants since 1988 for their humor, wit, and panache. If they call again, I will answer. There's my terrible Nick Offerman impression for you. Anyway, this song is about a problem that I have frequently. I'm going to check something here. This might be a wiki. Oh, okay. I've been mishearing it. You're going to see that I'm up on my high horse. I think that my horse is regular sized.